Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We are going to talk about XRP, and once again, this is the 1 hour chart. We're sitting here just above 62 cents. We're going sideways right now. I'm very optimistic though. I think maybe we will see some upward movement for the weekly candle close. I'm hoping that happens. The big money is in cross-border payments. That's why we have Ripple and Stellar. Take a listen to this.
Okay, so look, Western Union isn't going to go out of business anytime soon. They're going to adopt different technologies. Okay? But this is where the big money is. It's not in remittances. It's in these business-to-business payments across border. And that's why we have these kinds of companies like Ripple and Stellar. This is all about, right, business-to-business, back-end, big volume transactions, which are currently, very expensive. So if we look at the payment system, they're not sitting at the, you're sending money back to your uncle, right? It is, right, at the bank level. So the banks are making transactions with other banks. Now, nothing's changed here. You're still doing something like correspondent banking, except now, because the data can move around more quickly than the money moves around, right? We can settle these things more quickly.
So big money is in cross-border payments, but business-to-business payments. And we know Ripple is going to capture a good percentage of that. But then he goes on to say that that's not the big market. This is. Ripple and Ripple Payments was always just a starting cover point. The target market is this, the quadrillion derivatives market. XRP will settle that market 24/7. It literally doesn't need to do anything else. Now listen to the way he talks about the derivatives market.
This. If you're interested in blockchain and you want to make money, forget about sending money back to your uncle in France. This is where you should be thinking. This is the size of the entire economy of the world right here. GDP. This is the notional principle of all derivatives. Okay? These are all forwards, futures, and options. And these are all derivatives except interest rate swaps. This right here, interest rate swaps. Biggest universe that most of you have never heard of. Millions of lawyers, millions of traders, millions of accounts. All that can be put on the blockchain.
So all of that will go over to the blockchain. Again, Ripple's going to capture a good percentage of that. And if Ripple just captured the derivatives market, we're looking at a 3-digit XRP. But you also got to remember they're going to capture a good percentage of the cross-border market as well, pushing the price higher. And while we were distracted, this happened. If you don't know who this man is, you need to wake up. Augustin Carstens is the general manager of the BIS. He just spoke at the CBDC and Future Monetary System Seminar in Seoul, Korea on the 23rd of November this year. And he says the key step is tokenization. He goes on to talk about faster payments, instantaneous payments, clearing and settlement of any transaction. And we also know Ripple is going to capture a good percentage of tokenization as well. And people are still worried about us sitting at 62 cents right now. This is the time you continue to pack those bags while you still have time. Retail is going to be priced out of XRP in the future. It's just a matter of time. It's only a matter of time for full-scale adoption, how banks use crypto exchanges for XRP-based transactions. Now remember, all the FUD around XRP is the banks will never use XRP, especially in the United States. Well, this guy clears it up right here.
Mexico. So we work, so there's a small money service business called Qualix based in Texas, and they serve Mexican workers that are sending funds back home to their family in Mexico. So what happens is we have relationships that we've helped coordinate with exchanges on both sides of that transaction. So the US, it's Bitstamp, and in Mexico, it's Bitso, both digital asset exchanges. So they're setting the rates. So in some ways, it alleviates the need for Qualix, the financial institution in this case, to even hold XRP. They simply go, the risk is then absorbed by the digital exchange. That's their business, right? They're making markets, they know exchange rates, and there's a fee involved with that. But they will give, or they may have a US dollar account at Bitstamp, Bitstamp, they'll say, hey, Bitstamp, send $1,000 worth of pesos to this account in Mexico. Bitstamp converts the spot rate. It moves over the XRP ledger in 8 seconds. It gets converted by Bitso on the other end into peso at the spot rate, and then goes out on local rails to the ultimate bank account of the recipient. All of that takes, because there's bank processes on either end that we can't fully control, it takes about 10 minutes, which used to be 3 days. And we've been told that the overall rate that they're seeing is 20 some odd basis points less than they would have seen otherwise, even taking into account FX fluctuations, et cetera, et cetera.
So there you have it. It's already happening. And this is just one rail. Imagine XRP running on every single rail around the world, 24/7. And you know, this is most likely why we see the government right now cracking down on the exchanges. They want to get regulations put in place as soon as possible. But everything is happening in the background, and we're just waiting for it to reflect in the price of XRP. What would be the first thing that you would do in an entire blockchain-enabled world? Take a listen to what this guy would do right here.
In a blockchain-enabled world, like a completely world where we integrate Web3 into everything that we do somehow, what do you think would be the first thing that you do when you wake up?
I guess the first thing that I'll do, if I do have a coffee machine at home, is walk down to the shop, flip out my phone, pay for coffee using Ripple, XRP.
Just think, that time is coming. What would you buy first? Most likely I would end up paying for gas using XRP or buying groceries with XRP. You know, but we will get there eventually. And by the time we get to that point, retail will be priced out. Everybody you ever talk to about XRP will already be priced out of this market. And they'll be using crypto on a daily basis to make payments for things, and they won't even know it's happening by the time that comes. And that is right around the corner. Aaron McDonald, the founder and CEO of Futureverse, has confirmed that our XRP tokens on the Root network are backed one-to-one by XRP tokens on the XRP ledger. Now, the reason I wanted to mention this is because we're supposed to be getting some sort of airdrop from Root at some point in the near future. But people were questioning if they had the XRP or not. And apparently their CEO cleared it up and said all their XRP tokens are backed one-to-one by the XRP ledger and the XRP in our vault accounts. I'll most likely talk more about Root in the near future. I'll bring you up to date on what's going on over on that network as well, because they use XRP as their gas token for that network. Ripple on potential of NFTs. We have not even scratched the surface yet. They're talking about using NFTs for real estate, NFTs for carbon credits. You know, NFTs are eventually going to have a lot of utility and use case in the future. You know, right now, a lot of people aren't even looking at NFTs. Ripple sees them as the future as well. They're literally going after everything, all the money. You know, that's why it's so great to be an XRP holder. Breaking, 5 days to go, closed door meeting to discuss settlement on November 30th, 2023. Good time for XRP versus SEC settlement. I'm hoping that settlement happens. However, I don't think it's going to happen on the 30th. They're never going to tell you the day that this is actually going to take place. All of a sudden, XRP is just going to take off. And I don't want to get your hopes up for the 30th of November, because these backdoor meetings at the SEC, they happen all the time. You know, even when the case was in full swing, people kept saying, there's another closed meeting. That means this case is coming to an end on this day. And guess what? It never happened on any one of those days. Instead, we got clarity on a day that everyone was least expecting it. Ripple, XRP, the White House report from 1/27/2023, January. The administration roadmap to migrate cryptocurrency risk. Timing is key. We will keep driving forward the digital asset framework we developed. while working with Congress to achieve these goals. Now, we know the White House was always working on a digital framework for crypto, but I think they're going at it in the wrong way. Instead of using the SEC to crack down on crypto, maybe if they put clear rules of the road in place, other crypto companies would just follow those rules. This way they could expand out and grow. But even now, we see them cracking down on the exchanges. And I think it's because they're ready to put forward crypto regulations. And it's going to be global crypto regulations. You can't have different regulations going from one country to another, or cross-border payments will never work. And that's what I always try to point out, because people keep saying the US is lagging behind. We're lucky if we're going to see regulations by 2026. I think we're going to have regulations at the beginning of 2024. It's cute how normies think all the fiat in their account is there. Customers lash out at ANZ over withholding their money. And the one thing I want to point out here is, meanwhile, crypto companies are going under left and right, taking customers' deposits with them, with no insurance backing. And that's why you got to get your crypto off the exchanges. Proof that people do not listen and will continue to leave crypto on exchanges because they feel like it's a bank, or they just lazy and uninformed. Bank collapses and they have FDIC insurance. CEX's collapse and you got Sol insurance. You got nothing. Thanks for playing. It's gone. And I took notice here, you see Binance and Bitfinex and Kraken. I use MEXC to buy all of my crypto except XDC. I buy that over on Uphold. The reason I buy it on MEXC is because I buy it and then I get it off of there. And that's exactly what you should be doing as well. Don't be storing your crypto on the exchanges. You could lose your crypto at any moment. But the banks are in trouble when employees have not been paid today due to a problem at Bank of America. We always see these little problems at the banks, and they usually happen on a Friday or a Thursday. If you take notice, it's like a trend. And then all of a sudden, the bank collapses out soon after. And that's going to continue to happen into the future. And the money you put in the bank doesn't have that money there. They lend it out for people's mortgages. They lend it out so people could buy cars. And that's where your money goes. If you walked into any bank right now and wanted to take out $100,000 in cash, most likely they're going to tell you it's a 48-hour wait, maybe even longer, depending on the size of the bank. You know, people still don't get it. At some point, the bank is going to lock the door. It's all part of the Great Reset. Bank consolidations. It's easier to put a handful of banks onto a digital currency than it is to put a massive amount of banks on a digital currency. And that is why I don't keep money in the bank. Rug pull on credit debt incoming. Credit card debt has hit new highs at $1.024 trillion. High debt has been the new normal, but it isn't sustainable for long, with credit card interest rates at 21.19%. You know, everybody thinks all of a sudden this is just going to collapse out and you're going to be debt free. I think what's going to happen with everyone's debt at some point in the future, it's going to end up on a blockchain and it's going to end up being tokenized. And then who knows where we go from there. But just wait until we come out of the holidays where the credit card debt will be. We will be setting massive new all-time highs. But the reason it's like that in the United States is people look around and they see our government writing out $34 trillion in debt, and they figure, hey, the government isn't paying their bills. Why should I pay mine? They just keep racking more and more debt. And most of the reason is because of inflation as well. A lot of people's savings are absolutely gone. And this current system can't collapse soon enough for most people. They want a new system. They want a level playing field. That's where these ISO cryptocurrencies are going to play a major factor. And you know what's really funny about that is the fact that we hold the cryptocurrencies that are going to be running the new financial system. And yet people still think XRP is going to be sitting at 62 cents when that happens. At that moment, we will most likely be looking at a 4-digit XRP when it's moving all the world's money, when it's tied in with the derivatives market, when it's tied in with real world asset tokenization. Ripple is going to capture a good percentage of every single market out there. And that's why I said you got to hold on to your XRP for dear life. But until it all happens, stay patient, stay positive. Let's get rich together. I'm going to wrap this one up. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.